Will I continue this challenge? Absolutely. When I began this challenge, it almost seemed impossible to follow all these rules for 50 days straight. But now that I'm done, I'm so glad that I did. And this is why. I've been a night person almost my entire life. Waking up before 8 a.m. wasn't hard because on the usual work days, I would wake up around 6 a.m. But on the weekends, I would tend to sleep in longer. So when I started this challenge, I also started to go to sleep early, even on the weekends, which would allow me to wake up feeling refreshed and ready for the day. This is a habit that has really stuck with me, and I genuinely feel like I've become a morning person. The morning routine. I've had a morning routine even before the challenge started. My problem was always that I let myself get distracted. I would take my phone with me and would first take 5 to 10 minutes just to find a video that I would want to watch while brushing my teeth and getting ready. So starting this challenge, I stopped. I left my phone and didn't look at it until after I was done getting ready. This made my morning routine so much shorter and let me wake up without any distractions. This is also a habit that has really stuck with me, and I believe that I will continue doing for a long time. Exercising for 1 hour a day. I love exercising, and I wear an Apple Watch, which allows me to fill out my rings when I do sport. I might be a little bit addicted to that because since December last year, I've been filling out my rings every single day to this day. So the challenge of exercising for 1 hour wasn't such a big challenge because even before I was already doing 1 hour of sport a day. But also this is a habit that I'm gonna be sticking to. I didn't used to read a lot. I was way more the person to watch some TV or some YouTube. But when I met my girlfriend and she loves to read, I also started to read the books that she recommended me. And with that, I started to read more and more. And while this challenge, of course, I would also read at least 20 minutes a day, which was approximately 10 to 12 pages. In this time, I was able to read Atomic Habits and almost finish Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Those two books were really interesting and very knowledgeable in their topic. For anyone who's struggling to keep a habit for a longer period of time, I can really recommend Atomic Habits. I'm not going to be getting into the book in more detail in this video, but there's a lot of people that have probably already made more in-depth reviews about the book, if you're interested. Spending 1 hour towards a goal or a skill seems like a lot, but when I thought about the time that I would spend on my phone, it started to not seem as much time because I was on my phone for at least 4, even 5 hours a day. I'm doing an apprenticeship as a mediamatician, which is basically a designer, and I am fortunate enough to really love what I do, and I really enjoy to educate myself in this topic. So every day I would invest an hour into planning, scripting, recording, or editing a video. The more I did it, the more I just realized that I loved doing what I do. And that is why I do these videos here. Having a healthy diet was probably the hardest part of this challenge. When I was at home, it's pretty easy to eat healthy, and I would never really eat any junk food. It was more on the weekends when I would meet up with my girlfriend or my friends, and we would go out to eat a pizza or something less healthy. But in those times, I would think that it's worth it, because it was the time that I was spending with people that I love that made it worth it. Last but not least was tracking the progress in a journal. Now, if I'm being honest, I didn't really track my progress in a journal, but I did have my progress tracked. My sleeping habits were automatically tracked through my watch, which I wear in the night, so I was always able to check how I slept and for how long. The same goes with my exercise. Every exercise I do, I track on my Apple Watch, so I can check how many calories I burned and just overall how good of a workout it was. And of course, to fill out my rings. I know this might be a controversial topic, but I prefer reading on my phone. Not because I prefer it on the screen or anything, but it's just more convenient for me. When I'm driving to work and I'm in the train, it's easier for me to just pull out my phone and continue reading on my phone than having to carry an extra book. And for the other rules, I preferred just tracking my progress in form of videos. With all that said, I can really recommend this challenge. It doesn't mean that you have to follow each rule to the T, and of course you can change some rules to make them fit more for you. Maybe you don't do sport every single day and give yourself 1 or 2 days of rest. I think it's just more about being consistent. Once you start doing a habit, it's so much easier to continue because the hardest part is starting. So if you do decide to do this challenge, just let it teach you and help you create long-lasting habits that will change your life for the better. Thanks for watching.